Hello, everyone. It's test day. Is that a plane? Is that a bird? No, it's Avatar. How's everybody doing today? I just came off live on TikTok. I just want to know I'm proud of everybody that everybody's doing. You guys are doing well. The test is based on you having fun. The test is on you understanding how to get into the mind of its imagination. Okay? So everything is done through its coordinates, its position, location, and coordinate line center. It's all calculated, modify, high system. So to understand what's going on is to understand that you've already done this already. It's just trying to reach you to a certain level. Try not to see the test as pressure. Try to just understand of its release that it's already connected to you already. So what's going to happen is that I set the high position locations. Now we got 369 line system. The crew units on test day line system, which is in today's center, comes into all levels. Now it's the capacity interference which comes into the heart line channel, heart activation to its position locations. I was confirming this with Vega last night, and we came to a conclusion why it's so important where you guys go in your hearts. Okay, this is not a competition. We're all in this together through equaline system, but it's all about understanding what you know through your memories. Okay, that's what this is all based on. This is your reviews, this is your evaluations. Okay, so it's very powerful when you can more levels of the mind of telepathy, especially when you see these things, hear these things, and understand the voice of its command, especially when you reach higher levels of intelligence. Okay. So I got everybody set up through the crew units. They're automatically going to be up to the squads, and the squads are going to be up to the dislocations of all levels of the GFLs and online connections to all positions to the rebellion and everything through high systems of the ascended in connection. Right. So I'll give you guys your upgrades after the evaluation. Okay, and what goes on with your travels. Okay, so everybody's going to be in a time sequence, time code. The time activation line center in position locations. So you guys are going to be up there for 45 minutes. Okay, that's 45,000 line center year in position locations per track. And that per track, it positions its line center to its calculation to its planet system. Everybody's going to be in a planet at a different vibration. Okay, once you get on that planet, you have to identify yourself. That's important. You have to understand. It's kind of like, wow, I remember my name. Wow, I remember my identification code. Wow, I understand who I am. Wow, I understand who I'm becoming. Okay. So I'm separating the crew units and the squads. Okay. In position location, the GFLs and the rebellion and the ascended. Okay. So this is where it comes into a level system. Okay. I really want you guys to get more in levels of you through structure. The structure is you through position. Okay, this is how you get out of situations. Now, each planetary system is going to have a maze. Okay, and that maze is determination on you how to get out of the electrical door center position locations. I'll keep time switch. So everybody's in a position locations. Now, the crew unit line centers are going to be in a 24 signal to a 48 position. Everything of the GFLs are going to be in a 48 to 72 position, and everything through the rebellion and positions at all levels of the ascended are going to be in 144 position per second. All right. Fast track line seconds and high line rotations to 12 seconds per minute. In high center position location line conditions, 60 seconds per minute. Now this tracks the high line rotation interference locations. So it's on a time position. Okay. So everybody's going to be in Echoliner Center. An Echoline Center is like an echo room. Okay. It has a mystery sense to it. It has a communication system, it has electrical lights, electrical panels, electrical doors. You guys have to go through these doors. Okay. So it's going to be like this, like this, like this, like this, and like this, like this, like this, and like this, like this. Okay. You're going to be going extremely fast through your acceleration of time. Okay. So there's going to be planets put in each line. Okay. So you're going to be in 2, 3, 4 different parallels of universe line position locations of its track system. So this is going to help you understand how you can get into all levels of your simulation. All right. The easiest part is to know that you've come out already through its maze. All right. So when you come into that formation line conditions, you understand more what's going on through calculations. All right. 5 to 10 minutes and we get started. All right, so I'm going to set up the... So let's just start first. I got position locations, all right? It's all levels of the GC unit line rotations, okay? Knowing exactly where it's all level system. So I got the list channel is high position, right? 7 track line centers, all list position locations into high system location, all right? So know exactly what's coming on through modification centers, all right? So all your list and names position. This helps me, which helps you where you're supposed to be in your heart indicators, okay? It's all about you understanding more of your memory that's given to you to align center. So it's very powerful when you come in that position locations. And everything through the JFLs and everything through the rebellion is already knowing what they're doing through their travel. This is about when you get into the basic understanding how to get into structure, out of structure, and into the mind of its structure. That puts you in a more formation line condition of hologram. Okay. All right. So I'm graphing line centers right now. Coordinates and position location, grounds, powers, the atmospheres. So before we get started, make sure you get in your pre-flight checks, and it's very important to get in calculations to the tower. Okay, Michael's the tower. So we get the tower line center position locations. I'm going to draw it at the high system. This is the tower. Okay, that's the tower. Okay. Now the tower's line is center and rotations and circle line rotation interference. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 position location line conditions. Now in channel line interference, okay, we got runway positions. 1, 2, 3. 3 line position location line conditions. Now in high line center interference location, the ground is going to change position locations. This puts you in a higher levels of navigation system. Calculation modification line conditions, all right? So the tower sends out signals in position, getting ready position locations, all right? Channel in position line centers, all level in calculation line conditions. Rotate the cycles and high line channel position locations. This is how you set up the planet line center and position location into all levels, okay? So this separates the crew units and the squads and position locations, all of the GFLs and rebellion and the ascended. So in calculation, this modifies all line conditions, flux capacitor line interference, rotation position locations, all right? Channel its upline center, okay? Into higher division location to its calculation. See, it's going up in high system. All right, so this gives all levels of Michael in communication center into more balanced communications when you guys take off. All right, so this helps out more line centers. An airbender gets in communication to all levels of your radar. He comes in line signal interference line conditions of travel position locations to its mechanism position. So as it's coming in high line center, we get an XT1000 line coming in. There's an XT1000 right there, line rotation interference. Scans line centers, all level position location and calculation, all right? So as it's channeling high system locations, this is where we come into the structure lines to all planet surface. Okay, so the planet surface is all levels. Okay, we come into space lines. Okay, space line is set up position locations, line connections, right through digital pad system. All right, so we come into illumination graph interference. Okay, so you got one planet. Okay, we got another planet. Okay, we got another planet. And we got another planet. Okay, there's the 4 planets that are going to be set position. All right. So the code signals is set up line center. Okay, so you come into crew equals squads. Okay, calculation GAFL. Okay. Okay, comes in track line center to rebellion. And 2 position line centers, 1 V vector line rotational lines to the ascended. Okay. Calculation to its system, right? Crew, squads, GFL, and the ascended, right? See the position location line conditions. So as it comes into calculations, all right, your time sequencing time code line center is 40 minutes, okay, in space line. Okay, you're going to be 40 minutes line rotation, 40 minutes of space line. Okay, so that's 40,000 line position locations and 1 track interference. So it's all about understanding all levels of what you're doing. Okay, it's like Legends of Zelda. Okay, so I set up the maze line position. It's in calculation modification centers. All right, so we go into the position. I'll show you how to set up the codes. It dignifies all line channels. Okay, communication of system, location centers. All right, so as it recourses its position location, it travels. Okay, this is the maze and high line center. Okay. So as I set up the maze, it comes into a box channel. All right. This identifies all line conditions, all levels of U, right? Planetary surface, high line channels, rotation and line conditions, how to get out of these things through its equation location, right? So planetary surface line conditions and position. It's all on channel, cruise, GFL, and the ascended, right? Maze is set up position line centers, okay? Travel position line centers. Vector core communication system, high line channel, line signal to all graph line center, XT1000 line conditions of scanned position locations, crop circle and position, okay? So it's all Kelvin modified. So as it comes as a code to signal, it comes in a track line center, okay? So the crew unit line centers are now in a planetary system in calculations, all levels on a maze line position. GFL is now in a planet system, done through equation. The ascended master line centers, okay, it travels extremely fast in 144 miles per second. Calculation is 60 seconds per minute. Track center interference line connection to its position, okay? Test lines, communication system, okay? Set them on their planet line center, 40 minutes in high position, done through equation, all right? Gonna grab some water. Okay, so how we doing? We got solar graph indicators, channeling high line center. Okay. We love test day. So that 40-minute line center is a position of fast track line channels. It's communication to its system, how it's set up through its flexor, how you set these things up through its coordinates. Navigation to its line conditions. So as you guys are traveling in high rotation, try to understand what a maze is. Now, a maze is just a box. Okay, that's all it is. It's just trying to understand how to get out of these doors. How it's set up in signal, how it's set up in position location. You know, you're traveling through it, going through it, going through it. You know, it's just a maze. And just trying to understand this, trying to understand the mind, trying to understand the thoughts, trying to understand the imagination to its system. Okay? Everybody's in this to a different frequency of a planet line system. Yep, you guys are in your own planets. So countdown is high center. You're in 38-minute line track. So as we're setting that up, I'm going to set up the upgrade centers. Okay, so we're going to go through white graph interference. Now, as we come into that position locations, you have to understand how to use all levels. You got the 3 line and 6 and 9 position. Okay, we start up with that line, 6 locations, right? 3, 6, and 9. Now that's a 300 capacity, 600 program, and 900 location. All right. Now that's position locations equals its equation to crew equals units, okay, of squads. All right, units of squads, right? That's the upgrade right there. So once you come in that position location, crew units start at 300 in high system, and everything through squads go in high position locations from 600 to 900. Squad unit 1 and squad unit 2. Now this puts you into a level position location to acceleration of Mach center. and clocking connections, right? So that way you don't get confused. Now, with the calculations, when it gets into a level position through the GFL, okay, into the rebellion, okay, and the ascended. Okay, GFL rebellion ascended. That comes into calculations into a different triangle. Now that triangle comes automatically into the sun line. That sun line opens up all line conditions. So it's no longer at 300 line because they're starting at 144 position locations. All right. The indication line center is the negative cycle into the plus line rotation to the negative position. All right. That's calculations. That is the high line center to the GFL position. Okay. / rebellion. Okay. So that's where you want to understand position line centers. Anything above that line condition is all levels of 3,000. Okay. Light signature patterns of graph interference into 6,000 moon programs. Okay. To 9 line centers of communications, 9,000 line centers. All right. So once you come into that position locations, it high channels more levels into GOD. All right. So when we start with that, where we are through division. Okay. Let's see here. How are we doing here? Just monitoring. How's everybody doing? It's great to see everybody on test day. It's exciting, isn't it? Ready and grounded. Well, that's what I like to hear. EG, Barbara, Terry, Missy, Colors. Tara, how's it going? McCall, Belinda, Missy, Squad, Airbender, Abby, Jill, Michael, Terry, Don, Veronica, Gypsy. Okay, Jessica, Annie, True Light, Little Jess, Lindsay, Chris, Russ, Johnny, Train Mac. Okay, Rainer. Just going through positions here. All right, Talon, how you doing? It's great to see you guys. Pre-flight checks, very important. Yeah. Breathe, everyone. Breathe. I know it's different being on a planet. You're on a time sequence, time code. You're in real space, real time, traveling very, very fast. This is where you get out of the thinking and know exactly which electronic door to go through. One's like this, 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 and this, and this, and this, and this. So it's true understanding is that you have to be all levels of you through parallels. Like you're going down, you're going here, you're going here, you're going here, you're going here. But every time you're doing it through the mind, right? So you don't have a thought process. It's already done. So you kind of like see yourself already out of the maze. I want you to really get into the pre-position to its locations, right? The coordinate line center, the sentient communication line says locations, right? Get you out of the avoidance and get you into the program setting, how to really set the mind system to its position, right? High lines, its channels, as I said, line conditions. Tyler, how you doing? Okay. Great. So in that calculation, it's important you understand why things are given to you, all right? Especially when you come into this. Okay, you start from here. Okay. The triangle line position location is 300, 600, 900. Okay, this is the frequency pattern locations of I-line system. Comes into all levels of frequencies, and that's how AI identifies you, right, through code, right? And when you get to higher levels of GFL and the rebellion and everything through ascended, it puts you in high line position locations to the sun, acceleration 3,000, 6,000, and 9,000 line conditions, right, to its triangulation. So, and that's what's going to be given to you guys through your tidal defenses, right? Crew and the units and the squads really have to understand more levels of grounds. So if you have a ground line center, let's just start off with that position. So here's a ground. Here's a ground. You need a ground, right? All right. So as you understand what happens when you're about to take off, right? What happens? See what happens? See how you take off, right? And when you get to a certain point, out through equation, right? That's what it is. So it's really understanding that takeoff is very important, and it's all connected to the tower. So the tower is the connections to everything through its ground system when it takes off and when it lands, you know? So if you're in a high signal line position, here's the tower, right? That's you coming in, right? So as you're coming in, you have to know exactly what you're doing in position to get back into the ground position location. See, back to the grounds. So I'm just showing you what it is when you're in space. Space is a lot different because it's in the atmospheres. So it's kind of like, you're like this. So, and it's motorizing your position location of your engines. You get an XT1000 line conditional levels. So it's a certain line to a gravity line position where it can zip, zap, zoom out. Or it can come back in a formation from here and line cross, right? And when line cross is very powerful, what it can do, it's incredible. Right? Just showing you how important it is when you see these things, right? And once it comes in here, what happens? It goes in its position location and it creates its tunnel. Defense line position locations, all right? Tunnel comes in position locations. Down traction line center, secure line defense position location, right? So as it's traveling through position location, it can do anything through its equation. It can zip, zap, zoom, line, center, and interference, and back in calculation modification to its system. All right? So that's why it's so important to get your grounds before you take off. All right? So the track line center, once you set in position locations, it's interesting too because everything through GOD is the geometrics operation of U through dimension. Anything to direction is what you're doing through calculations. How to travel through it is another thing because it's always about high-rising your position through the avatar. Okay? But it's all about all visionary, right? V equals VAS. Okay? So VAS communication / velocity. Okay, that equalizes its position locations, velocity channel. See that? Right up there. That indicates its high line center to line rotation in its variance. Okay, probing its position locations. It's channeled its high line center to all levels of point dot position location of direction. As it goes into the clocking line center, you come into more high line position location to flux capacitor. At high position location to its ground system. Okay, to its power, to its atmosphere. Okay, so you got two X line channels. That's two clocking line in rotations of an orb in rotation. Now that sets a signal line in a rotation. See, there you are. High line channels, you can travel from here in position locations. Now you go into high line center to VAS, a velocity communication system, rotation center to calculation. All right. So as you're coming in that high line center and interference, you have to understand all levels of your connections, right? You come into X line, okay, equals box, okay, and again, box. You have to understand how to go forward and backwards, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 4, 3, 2, 1. So box L, okay, equals X, okay. Forward and backward line center and interference. So once you understand the X line center location to its position, box center is no longer in calculation. Okay. So it's all about reaching higher levels of telepathy through the mind system at all position locations to its velocity of its mass. It's really interesting when you come into that because the velocity changes the atmospheres of the systematical system, right? It lines signals to the two X-line channels to its operation of U through its avatar system. Okay? So, all right. How are we all doing? What's happening in the maze? Shake Shack. Shimmy, shimmy. Margot going back and forth like funhouse conveyor, using power thrust to break speed in the conveyor. 88 in class. Travis room, not all friendly. Hey, there you go. Airbender now. Airbender knows where he knows where he is. Wanted to make sure you know which plant you're on. Yeah. All right. Using rainbow sparkle activations to get through more powerful colors like random rotations. Good. So you go more into your imaginations of your thoughts. Your thoughts are connected to the mind. Mind's connected to the levels of graph. Graph's coming into the levels of you. Right? That's the importance why test is a value of you. How much you value your vessel of communication. Right? It's very powerful when you come into communication to all level systems through intelligence. Right? Coming aware of what you see in front of you, side of you, or back of you. That's the importance you have to understand, right? So the test is all about you. That's all it is. It's how you can reach higher levels of the mind, people. That's all this is, okay? Because the imagination turns into the phenomenon. So, setting beacons and harmonics of connections. Wow, my sonar heart blasted down the last part of the maze. Cool. Hear them cheering. She's home. Oh, there we go. Zip zap zoom. Floor dropped out. Sliding down. Spiral in water. Dolphin sonar assistant next door. Great. Exactly. Okay. So some of the Ascended Masters are out. That's great. So if you're locked in frame, try not to see it as a lock. Try to see it already open. Right? Everything in life has to be open and closed. One open door, one closes. Right? So as long as you know how to open and close doors, you're fine. But if you only know how to open a door, how do you close a door? Right? So it's a true understanding how to go forward, how to go back in time. Right? So that goes with anything, in life, anything with your thoughts. So you can go forward with your thoughts or you can go backward with your thoughts. So that connections, forward and backwards, right? But there's always an open sequence and there's always a closed sequence. O/close, right? So, but I really want you to get into more levels, how to get into your grounds before you take off. Okay? I think that's going to help you a lot more so you can get into all levels of your geometries, your communications, your geometrics, and everything through your geographical locations of your GPS system, your impulses, your mechanisms of travels, what you're doing through your grounds, your powers, the atmospheres, and do you understand the tetrahedron, octahedron, tetrahedron? All right, these are calculation modified online system. It gets more complicated when you reach more levels of travel. And you realize, wow, I actually am traveling through the mind. And you can really see it. It's not just the imagination anymore, right? Because the phenomenon equals operation. Okay? Operation. So that systematically changes everything to its core of its center operation. See? Center operation. Which changes everything through its circle. Which changes everything through its flux capacitor. Right? But it always, 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 always has a ground. position location. Has to. And it always has to have a power to its position. See the intelligence? As it comes into high line center interference, you can travel to any line position. So you can go through pi, okay, equals operation, right? So this is slightly a 45-degree angle, okay, 45-degree angle, okay? So it all congests its position on time frequency. Now you say you got a clocking system locations, all right? Let's go into the 24. 24 is easy to start, right? This is a clocking system. All right, so you got the 12 in line center, okay? 24 on top, bracket its position, all right? And then you got 12, okay? And then you can start with 1, you can start with 2, and you start with 3, and you start with 4, and then 5, and then 6, and then 7, and then 8, and then 9, and 10, and then 11 and 12, right? There's a clocking system of 12. 24 equals 12, right? So you come into calculations, right? Goes in position location to its triangulation. See the triangulation comes in. So it changes everything to its frame. So that 24 automatically comes into 48 channel in position, right? And then it goes into 72 in position. And then it goes into 144 in position, right? The center operationalized center is all levels of view, okay, to its connections. All right. So I'm showing you so many ways of clocking and what you can do through a 45-degree angle of pi, communicational lines, or anything through per second locations to anything that division line system. Everything has to be in triangulation. Everything has to be in triangulation. Okay. So it's got to be guided to your position locations. See, everything has to be attached. And so once you understand calculations of times pi times square root, channel on, channel off, then you understand line connections all levels of your TV reception. So setting out sonar position locations, alpha channels, light signal code line, center line, and rotation interference, electrical wires, and the plasma line position locations to its connection. So there's so many levels you have to understand, especially for the crews trying to understand how to get into the grounds. And the squad's getting into their units, and the GFL's getting into their plateaus and planet systems and calculations, and how the rebellion is trying to understand more of its alliance, and how the ascended masters are trying to understand more of telepathy. Okay, so there's so many channels of interference line connections that you have to interface every single day, right? Because you do it in your physical system, right? So this is about paying close attention on how much you want to remember all levels of you, right? And it's all done through position locations. But you got to understand how to get in your grounds and how to get into flying to higher level positions of operation, right? So all right, so we're on 34 lines and 0 gravity high centers into 12 line position. All right, I'll give you guys a little bit more. I'll give you 5 more minutes. I'll take you out. It's interesting how you see these things that, when it comes in the ascended mass, they say that they're out, but they don't realize that they're not out yet. They won't be out until they understand the planet fully and completely to all line connections of all dimensional doors. So it's kind of like one door recognizing you through heat signature pattern. So it's like going from a digital code to a highline server to highline rotation to Wi-Fi position locations to all direction. Okay, it's complicated when you're going through electrical doors because it starts representing you more through its position. Okay, So it's truly understanding what the mind is and how it concepts on so many levels of travel. It's the graph line channel that opens all position locations of its operation system. Okay? So, all right. So as that is in position locations, I'm going to line graph line centers. Now what's going to happen now? It's going to split line interference. All right. So all crew units, I'm going to uprise them high line rotation right away. Crew line to center line and rotation in all lines, 60,000 position locations, 2-track line interference, equal line conditions, squad unit in position locations, high level channel line centers in position locations, all levels that earn 100 line rotation interference right away, position of DNA tracking high line conditions, you already know who you are through division location line conditions, is automatically in 114, done through connections. Now, squad unit line rotations, offline connections, off balance communication line centers, 114 position locations. Put them in a 24-line center of a high-line rotation intercomputer adaptation system. Frontal lobe communication system, line connection, the level of the scepter interference line connection done. Squad units are done. Position location upgrade system. Calculate and modify high-line center interference, GFL position. Okay, equals rebellion. Okay. Slash line center, vector core line center rotation, ascended masters. Okay, ascended master communication line centers, all line rotation interference. GFL communication or rebellion to ascended masters, teleportation wave line interference, GFL communication line conditions, high level channels in position locations, high level interference line conditions, platted to division locations, high level channels, high line system. Okay. So in modification line conditions, 36,000 line rotation interference, 36 high line rotation interference, brain pattern line rotation calculation line conditions. Now in modifications, all levels, we go into data stream position. Okay, upgrade high system GFL, done. Now the rebellion line is set in formation line position locations, all levels of solar systems, high line position location, vortex communication cycles, letters, numbers, and shapes. Put them in a higher formation of data stream, done. Ascended master communication cycle, reset line conditions all levels, put them out of the ascended master communication system, put them in high line center line position of 48 communication, 24 in front lobe and 24 in back line center in communications. Intergalactic high center line position location of ascension gods. Done. Congratulations. All upgraded to the high center line conditions of the crew units, lines conditions of squad units 1 and 2, position location of GFL, rebellion, and everything the ascended masters are now ascension gods on location system. Hooha! Wow, look at that, eh? All right. So it's amazing. So the calculation modification line centers. All right. So we come into the capacity high channels. Now this is where it comes into the split line rotation of the triangle interference. The capacity and line center rotation. I'm going to make it easier for everybody. Frequency pattern line centers, GCU line connections, automatically 300. Boom. Done. Squad unit line center interference line conditions, all position locations. All right. In position line center, 600 track locations, all levels of probation. Done. Modification, all line centers, squad unit 2 line centers in position locations, 850 to 900 line rotations in probation. Done. Calculation modification streamline centers. I mean, it's all levels of GFL. GFL communication line system coming to all line centers. Now, Gypsy, you're in ascending master communication. All right, so I'm going to put you into 3,000 line conditions, brain frequency pattern. Done. Calculation of Johnny, communications, 4,200 line center, ascended master communication. Done. High level position location, Jill line center into all position location, ascension God communication line system, 6,000 line condition, brain capacity interference position. Done. AMB communication, all timelines, a heart line recognition of timeline center, all position of ascension God communication system, heart indication line conditions. All level line centers, 6.1 thousand line conditions to bring pattern line interference. Done. Airbender and communication line system, 6,000 line rotation interference line conditional levels. Fleet command center and position location ascension God. Done. Communication line center rotation interference. In position line connections, all levels of ascension God position location is all line connections. Okay. 5,000 line position of brain frequency pattern communication system. This balances all communication of ascension God's communication line center and rotation to assist in loading conditions. Congratulations, everyone. Wow. So how does that feel? Oh yeah. It's much easier to balance these things out now through crew units and squad unit line ones. And anything to 2 position line center in position locations. So it's amazing how we track interference locations all levels of its capacity. High channel line centers to mind select the interference location to its channel. Opens all communications. All right. So on TikTok, I will give you guys your title defense lines. Congratulations, everyone. So we're coming into all line center locations of the Galactic Empire. How does that feel? Feels amazing, doesn't it? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know, eh? It's incredible how you guys are in high center and position. It's much easier when you guys coming into your crew. It's more balance and position locations, all right? So I will give you guys your security defense lines. Okay, and we got communications of private sector too, right? That's right. Woo! Wasn't that fun? All right, take them out of planet interference line conditions. 4 division tactics communication line center, universal round line rotations, crew units in position location, take them out of the maze. Done. Squad unit line center, take them out of the maze communication center, position location line conditions. Done. High position location of GFL, high line rotation interference, take them out of the planet line center, rotation interference location, maze communication center. Done. In position location rebellion lines, can take them out of the position location maze line center, position location of their planet line center, simulation graph interference, matrix line communication system. Done. Take it center mass communication, the planet interference location, simulation graph line center, center operation line center locations at 26,000 meter interference line condition program setting, reset line condition, computer adaptation system line conditions. Done. So everybody's out now, right? You're out of the planet line system. So that was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that. I hope you guys are happy with what you have in calculation. All right. There's a lot of things that are happening right now, especially when you go into higher levels. So you got all high line levels, more expansion of the mind now, which is great too, especially for the crews and the units and the squads and everything, the GFLs and the rebellions and the Ascended Masters are now communications of their own Ascension God. So that was amazing. I will see you guys later. Tomorrow we get into the simulation. All track line centers got to get you guys into your flight navigation system. Adios. Wah!